Hey Taurus, this is Michael with your March 2022 reading. I hope that this finds you well and in good spirits. I have all your cards on the table here, but before we dive into your reading, I just have a quick announcement. I'm actually now on Patreon, so if you want to support this channel, I am offering things like energy updates for each week. The most basic membership will give you access to all of my astrology notes that I reference in all of these videos. Very often there are things I don't get to include in these videos, so it's kind of a great way to learn about astrology and figure out what's going on for you in even greater depth. And also some live streams as well. So if you're interested in that, my links are all down below. You can also find personal readings and Reiki sessions with me. Be sure to book those on my website. I know there's been a lot of scams and fake accounts, so if anyone is reaching out to you on social media asking if you want a reading, it's probably not real. All of our links are always going to be like on our homepage, in our bio, in our description box, so always be sure to double check if that ever happens. Anyway, Taurus, I have some really interesting energies here for you because the first card that I actually got was the Ten of Pentacles. And this actually showed up in the past. And the energy I'm kind of connecting with, I'm getting a very specific story here. It feels like some of you felt like you had finally arrived, or you had finally come to this level of stability that you thought was lasting, or I even want to say permanent. And maybe you had a very long chapter of success or stability or things just feeling quite easy or very abundant here. And I do think you worked very hard to get to this point if this is something that you had realized. If it's not, it felt like there was an opportunity or you were finally going in the direction of stability. I'm getting this sense with the Queen of Pentacles, a lot of you have really been thinking about the long term as well. You're starting to get in touch with a long-term plan for your life or what it is that really inspires you or what you want to move towards. Very earthy energy here with the pentacles on the table. We actually have quite a few cards that have this kind of earthy energy. It feels like there really has been this focus on you getting serious about your life. And with Venus, your ruling planet in Capricorn for the past several months, or couple of months, it'll be 3 months by the time we're in March, there really has been this focus on things like education, your place in the world. Maybe there's been traveling. It feels like you've been learning a lot. And maybe learning things to help you build a better future for yourself or to build the future that you want. I do get this sense, though, that you're actually quite lonely. Maybe there's been this sense of connection that has been lost. This could be involving family or people who felt like family with the Ten of Pentacles. I could also see this as actually something connected to the workplace as well, particularly with us being in Aquarius season. There is actually quite a bit of focus on work for you this month. Or there has been a lot of focus on work for you in February, I should say. So kind of coming into March, there is this sense of feeling a little bit lonely, actually, with the Hermit card. I am getting this distinct sense for you. And it feels like with all of this energy in your 9th house, in Capricorn, there really has been a lot of focus on you studying, reflecting, gaining wisdom, gaining knowledge, and you're still going to be doing this for the first part of March, which makes sense because Venus, your ruling planet, is still going to be in Capricorn until the 6th. That's when it enters into Aquarius. And this is really going to depend on your own specific birth chart, like how this is all actually going to affect you personally. But in general, with Taurus energy or Taurus placements, we can still kind of feel out what is going on for you in the stars. And to be honest, it feels like this month is really kind of in the wake of a lot of intensity. It's like, I almost get the sense of like a tower image or a tower moment where things kind of felt like they were falling apart. We don't actually have the tower on the table, but I do get the sense of something that once felt very stable or lasting, or this reaching for something that was stable or lasting didn't end up going the way you expected it to. There was this kind of rupture in your foundation or something that is making you second guess your stability. It's making you reflect on what you actually want again. And I think some of you actually knew what it is that you wanted once upon a time, or what it felt like to know what you want. And there's just this questioning or this doubting. This feels very, very personal. I feel like there's just a lot that is about you in this specific reading. I'm not actually getting a whole ton of like other people's energy right now. I actually do have the Five of Pentacles here. This is sort of a challenge or theme this month. And I actually do get this sense of feeling a little turned away or alone or even abandoned. It's like these people who are supposed to help you aren't helping you right now. Or you're kind of relying on yourself. Maybe for some of you there is like one person, right? And I don't even get the sense that this is necessarily a friend. Maybe for some of you it is. It almost feels like a mentor, like someone you could be watching online or someone you could be reading a book from, like an author or some sort of teacher. I get that sense more than you really relying on the people in your day-to-day life, if that makes any sense. And really thinking about what's happening on the 3rd, Venus, Mars, and Pluto are all going to be forming a very close conjunction. And this is actually the 3rd conjunction that Venus is making with Pluto in this cycle. We had this in December a couple of times, and it may have been a time that really brought in a lot of change for you. Maybe there was some travel for you or canceled travel plans. Maybe there was something with education or going down a different path in your life, seeing the world in a different way. And it feels like, again, at the start of this month, there's something about your world that's being blown open, but it feels quite isolating. It's almost like this truth or this place you are in your life right now, it's really hard to connect with other people. And that's kind of why I get the sense that if you are connecting with people, it feels more like someone online, like someone on social media, or again, someone who is more of a mentor or teacher in some capacity. And I also get the Ten of Swords for you too. And this really is like a pretty intense energy, I'm not gonna lie. It feels like there could be a sense of betrayal that you're dealing with. And that could be from people from the past. Maybe there's something that you're kind of ruminating on or something that's coming up for you. Maybe this is kind of an anniversary this month, March in general. I'm kind of getting that for some of you. Like March could have been kind of just an intense time. And it feels like there's just a lot of isolation and loneliness. However, I did pull another card for you and I got the Queen of Pentacles. Or I'm sorry, the Queen of Wands. And this very much feels like you're learning your own magic. You're getting back in touch with your own spirit, your own fire. And it's like anything that's been lost, anything that's been stripped clear from you, it feels like you're getting back on your feet again. And this timeline feels kind of strange for me because I feel like this is something, there's almost like echoes from the past. I feel like more recently there was this sense of betrayal or this sense of isolation or just feeling like duped by life. And it's kind of echoing from a lot of other points in the past. I feel like this group has had so many different lives. You've had so many different chapters in your life and so many different people. And as we're kind of going through Pisces season, which will happen towards the end of March, there really has been a lot of focus on community, or there will be a lot of focus on community for you. And that's actually going to be something that's going to be pretty thematic for this year. As well as your hopes and your dreams, but really like the sense of who are my people, where are my people. But I feel like right now, you're almost getting into an energetic state where you are drawing people towards you. You're kind of becoming the person you wish you had in the past. And that's why I kind of feel like some of you are really embodying this hermit energy yourself. I was saying maybe some of you are following someone online or reading some book or something like that. But ultimately, even if that is the case, this person is just redirecting you towards you. Coming back into guidance with yourself. That's what the lantern here is with this hermit and the star in the lantern. It's coming back into touch with your own inner guidance. And with starlight, sometimes we need to distance ourselves from society, from other people, to really get back in touch with that, because there's pollution, there's light pollution in our cities and even in our towns and villages that can make it really hard to see the night sky. And kind of spiritually speaking, when we're around other people or we're kind of going through the hustle and bustle of daily life, we can kind of lose perspective easily. And I feel like with the Queen of Wands, whatever has gone on, whatever is going on, you're coming out as very, very resilient to me. And in such a way where it's like you're actually becoming a role model for other people. I could even potentially see you, Taurus, embodying the hermit energy, which is kind of interesting to me, because the hermit is sometimes this figure or mentor that people will seek out. It's the person in the mountains. It's the wise person in the stories. And people may actually be starting to turn to you in this respect, or this is something that you are being shaped into by your experiences now. I do have a couple of animal cards that I pulled for you as well, Taurus. We have the Eastern Oyster card, and the message here is deal with your dirt. So I feel like there is a lot of filtration. There is a lot of things that you're sorting through and maybe energetically kind of purifying yourself from. I do really get a sense of focusing on your wellness, on your health, especially with the Queen of Wands, and it's in a very self-loving way. It's not about punishing yourself by, restricting your diet or really pushing yourself to your limits at the gym and injuring yourself. This is more like doing the things that make you feel good in your body. Some of you might actually be doing some sort of detox or just eating cleaner or taking better care of yourself. I could potentially see that with the Oyster card. Anything that helps you process or move or filter energy is going to be super important to you, Taurus. And I'm also getting that kind of message or story. It's like you're turning the dirt into a pearl. You're finding something beautiful here and all the things that have kind of built up over time. And you might not even see it yet because it's still happening inside of you. It's still happening kind of concealed inside of this oyster shell, but we do see the pearl here at the top of the card. So I feel like there is a pearl that is being formed and you're making your own magic. That's another message I wanted to give you. It feels like you are coming in touch with your own magic. And maybe some of you are practicing energy work or practicing manifestation or really going back to some basic principles again. I almost get the sense with the Ten of Pentacles in the past, you could be going back to the basics, back to things, or back to a time that once felt really good. If things have felt really challenging or really lonely or just really strained in your life, I almost want you to just go back and reflect into different chapters of your life. When did you feel really good? When did you feel your best? What were you doing during that time? What did your life look like? How can you kind of implement some of those things into your life now? There is something with integration, with dealing with the dirt and the things that have kind of accrued. I think you already have these answers and these kind of resolutions inside of you, Taurus, that you've been seeking out. It's just filtering through your recent experiences. That's going to be what helps you get back in touch with who you are. And I also have the Pilated Woodpecker here, and the message is free your inner fire. This very much reminds me of this Queen of Wands. And again, I get this sense there is just this energy of you really stepping into yourself and really expressing yourself in a very beautiful and maybe even intimidating way. I don't want to say intimidating as in like you're coming across as off-putting, but it's like you're very self-possessed or you're just loving yourself really solidly. And that might actually turn some people away. That might make some people feel insecure about themselves. It says more about them than it does about you, if that's the case. But with this woodpecker energy, it feels like you're finding this tenacity. You're finding a rhythm as well, kind of that tapping. I feel like some of you are very hard at work this month. That makes a lot of sense with it being Aquarius season, and even with your ruling planet Venus moving into Aquarius on the 6th. There is also going to be a conjunction between Venus and Saturn in Aquarius on the 29th. This is going to be a really good time to put in effort, to commit to things in work. There might even be a sense of things feeling a little heavy or restrictive as you're going through it. But ultimately, these restrictions or these setbacks are refining you. That's kind of the energy of Saturn. It can test us, but Saturn is ultimately helping us become our best and helping us really build the things that really inspire us. And, you know, Saturn is kind of like polishing us. I think of a stone that has had its edges polished away or tumbled away, and it's now lustrous and shiny. That's sort of what's happening to you, and I see that with the Queen of Wands, and even with this woodpecker energy again. And also thinking of like the Aries new moon that will be happening in April. There is something there where it's like this subconscious shift for you. So we're kind of looking into April at this point, but I get the sense that something is kind of changing for you behind the scenes, and it's like you're finally starting to understand things or make these connections. It feels like you're remembering yourself this month, and that's going to continue to happen in April, but it's like you're remembering who you are. You're remembering your rhythm, your song, what you're working for. Maybe with this woodpecker energy, some of you have been working at something for so long, you've kind of lost touch with what it was that inspires you. And thinking about the full moon on the 18th of March, there really could be this like kind of explosion of, fun, romance, just feeling good again. Like there's something here that's kind of breaking you out of a really heavy cycle, or you're kind of shifting out of that, because this full moon is in Virgo, which is your 5th house, your house of fun, pleasure, romance, all the fun, spicy things in life. And I think there's going to be a big change there, or something that is being birthed around this time for you. So really pay attention to that date. And with the new moon in Pisces on the 2nd of March, this is actually a really good time for you to manifest new people, new communities, new support systems. This new moon in your 11th house is actually one of the best placements for a new moon, in my opinion, because the 11th house is where we receive our support from the universe at large. Very often we call this the house of social networking or friendships or communities, but really this is just the way that the universe acts through other people to support us. So this is actually a really powerful month for you to make some profound manifestations and potentially change course here, or find new people, find support from the universe at large. This is a great month for you to manifest. And I think that's kind of why this Queen of Wands is coming here, reminding you that you are your own master, your own, what is the message here again? I said it already. It's, you are the master of your own magic. And that feels really, really specific. I almost get the sense that some of you might have actually walked away from like a spiritual community, or you've just walked away from spirituality in terms of like other people, but now you're coming back into something for yourself or in your own, and it's very personal this time, and it's very aligned with who you are. So that feels really, really significant to me, and I think you're actually going to be drawing in the right people for you in the future. So really embody yourself, really become this beacon and this kind of way shower with the Hermit card. Anyways, Taurus, those are all the messages I have for you this month. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. And again, all of my links are in the description box down below. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.